Good morning, this is day 4 and our sprouts are really coming up. So the procedure from now on will be just to water them thoroughly in the morning like I did yesterday and spritz them at night. And I'll just show you what they look like each day from now until we harvest them. So this is how they are today. Obviously they'll be a little bit different every day depending on the climate conditions. Here are our sprouts on day 5. It's day 6 and here we are. They're coming up. So we've got a few more days to go. Good morning, it's day 7 and look at those sprouts. They're looking good. I've already watered them this morning. I'm going to go ahead and put the extra tray with dirt on top. I've been doing this every day just to keep them even. And you can play around with how many days you want to add the extra tray. But I think one more day for this batch, and then tomorrow we'll probably let them take off the tray and just let them green, put a little bit more light on them and let them green. It's day 8 and I'm getting hungry looking at these sprouts. Wow, they're coming along beautifully. So today, obviously the tray goes, the extra tray that was weighing them down on top, and I'm going to just put them in indirect sunlight. You don't want to ever put sprouts in direct sunlight because it's too strong for them usually. So we'll do that to green them up a bit, get that wonderful chlorophyll, and I'll bet they'll be ready to harvest by tomorrow. Here I've placed the sprouts on the top level of the tray so that they can get all the sunlight. If you place them on the second level, the stems grow longer, and I heard that the sprout stems contain less of them. So, for what it's worth, sometimes I place them on the second tray and get those nice long stems for the sprouts. But today I'm just going to place them up here. I've got a direct west view, so I've angled the Venetian blinds so the sun doesn't beat right on them. And you might hear I've got the fan going, and just a reminder, the fan is excellent for keeping mold at bay and circulating the air. They just love that circulating air. It's day 9 and we're ready to harvest our sprouts. We want to harvest them right when the sprouts are beginning to produce new shoots. So here's a little sprout. You probably can't see it, but there's a little new shoot coming up. And what's happening there is the sprout is building up energy so that shoot can be pushed up. And so all that vitality will go into our body when we eat it. So this is the time we want to cut off the sprouts. We want to cut them off close to the roots. I like to use kitchen shears. You can also use a knife. As close to the root as possible. Just saw them off just like that. This is a serrated knife. Or I prefer kitchen shears, whichever. We'll just cut them like that and put them in a bowl. I don't wash them at this point. Actually, I'm harvesting them 12 hours after my last watering because I don't want to put them in the refrigerator wet. They will deteriorate faster if they're wet. So we'll harvest them like this, and we want to rinse them right before we eat them. We will always want to rinse all sprouts before we eat them because they're still growing in the refrigerator and still pooping, as they say, as I learned. So, yeah, this is how we'll do this. And then I just put them in after they're all harvested. Look at that. Nice big crop there. These look delicious. They're so nutritious. Sprouts are 50% protein. So you get, and not to mention that they're loaded with wonderful enzymes. So you're getting like a pack full of nutrition. There we go. Alright, this is a huge crop. And I'm going to put the sprouts in one of these green bags. These absorb the off gases from any produce and helps them stay fresher longer. And then I'll just be rinsing the sprouts and taking the hulls off right before I eat them, like I mentioned before. Not too bad, huh? Okay, so that's how we do that. And we need to, I like to get as much out of here as possible, obviously. So we'll just kind of take all these extra little stalks off. And to empty the bag, to empty the dirt, we just get a garbage bag, big garbage bag, and dump the dirt in here just like that. That's another advantage of having this smaller tray. And then we can just rinse out that tray and pour the rinse water into the toilet, never into the sink, because it will really clog up your sink. So we've got wonderful sprouts to eat. Look at those. And I'll be posting a few recipes using sprouts, especially my nori rolls. They're delicious.